The gavel fell like a stone into a shallow pond. Eliza stood at the clerk's table and caught the files before they slid. Her boss had already gone. The judge was halfway to chambers. Then came the knock that did not ask. She looked at the side door. No one used it after hours. Another knock, hard and flat. She checked the lock and opened the door 2 inches. Jace stood there in late light, beard rough, face baked by road sun, boots chalked with white dirt. He held a folded deed like a small flag. "You still keep the keys on a nail," he said. Her mouth went dry. "Why are you here? To say thank you, and to ruin a few dinners." He stepped inside. The door thudded shut. The hallway hummed with the last of the day. He handed her the deed. Wishbone Ridge Ranch. The name ran like a seam through her. The seal pressed a new moon in the paper. She touched it with 2 fingers and pulled back. "You can't own that." "I do." A picture cut through her. Years ago, the bank had said no to Jace. She had walked out into sun and into Whit Caro's car. She never told Jace that shame had driven her as much as hope. Through frosted glass, a shadow paused. "Sheriff Kincaid, Brimlow, coat tidy. Courthouse is closed," he said without opening the door. "I'm open," Jace answered. Eliza tried to make her voice a desk. "What is this for?" "So you can watch me not want you," he said. He smiled once, tired and small. "That's the lie. Truth is I need a witness." "For what?" "For the sound old men make when a door they lock swings on its own." Footsteps came down the hall. A deputy pushed in, careful with a ledger big as a baby. The spine let out a dry groan. Caro Trust stamped in gold across the cover. The deputy set it on a cart. She felt the air thin. She stacked files and found she had stacked the same file twice. Kincaid leaned on the jamb. "Paper moved slow after closing," he said. "Come back morning." Jace looked at Eliza. "Not the sheriff. Morning will be late by then." Elisa said, "What do you want from me?" "I want you to see me put my name where your napkins used to be," he said. "And I want you to see whose ink leaks." Kincaid tipped his chin at the deed. "Property filings take lines and time." "Not this one," Jace said. "This one walks." The deputy cleared his throat. "Ledger needs sign-off." Eliza heard her own voice go steady. "I can log a receipt. I can timestamp. I can't bless anything," Jace said. "I don't want blessing. I want light." Kincaid's hand touched the ledger. "This book doesn't leave." Jace's eyes cooled. "Then pages can fly." Eliza felt the room tilt toward a fight. She stepped between the table. "And the men?" "Stop," she said. "You both know the rules." "I know them too." "Do you?" Kincaid said. "Yes," she said. "And I know how they bend." The deputy finally looked at her. "Ma'am," he said, "do you want me to put this back?" Jace said, "He wants you to." Kincaid said, "Do your job, Miller." Eliza lifted the ledger's cover. Ink rose up, warm. Names lined the page. She saw Whit Caro's penned across donations, water rights, committee seats. Notes sat in the margins. Dates did not match other dates. "Where did you get this tonight?" she asked. "Records room," Kincaid said. "Records room is locked." "At 5, she said. "It opened for me," he said. Jace laughed once. "Doors know who feeds them." Eliza closed the book. "You brought this to show me what I already know." "I brought it so you'll help me make it seen," Jace said. "And if I don't?" "Then I walk the deed across town and read names on the church steps," he said. "I let the wind carry them." Kincaid's jaw clicked. "You're close." "To disorder?" "I'm close to done," Jace said. Eliza's hands shook. She set her palms on the table. "Why did you come to me first?" she asked. "Because you drew it first," he said. "Because you knew its fences before it had them. Because you left me for a man who owns the map." "You think this fixes you?" she said. "No," he said. "But it fixes where my boots stand." Kincaid pushed off the jam. Time to go. Jace set the deed on the table between them. Witness me, he said. Eliza stared at the paper. The seal winked. Her hand rose and hovered, held there by the past and the breath she could not finish. She could feel the ridge they had named in a truck seat long ago. She did not touch. The room listened. The ledger sat open. Outside, someone tried the front door and found it locked tight. She kept her hand where it was. She did not let it land. The ceiling lights fluttered, and Eliza's hand hovered above the deed. The courthouse felt emptied and awake. Boots touched the outer hall. The knob turned. Wit stepped in with cufflinks like small knives and a smile that cut. You look tired, Eliza, Wit said. I'm working, she said. He glanced at Jace. Dust on boots, wrote on his face. Folded deed on the table. We've met, Wit said. You left with empty pockets. Jace slid a metal tag from his pocket and set it on the deed. A broken V wishbone's mark. Not empty now. Kincaid leaned into the doorframe. His hat shadowed his eyes. His voice came smooth and official. Clerks don't witness private transactions. She witnessed me once, Jace said. Eliza's grandmother's ring cooled on her finger until it felt like a warning bell. She kept her hands where they were and watched the ledger on the cart. It edged toward the table A. Slow inch. Paper brushed paper. A whisper inside the building. She forced her face to stillness and looked back at the men. Wit came close enough for her to smell mint and a trace of cigar. You chose right, he said softly. Don't drift. I know what I chose, she said. You chose a life. With doors that open. I chose a life I can carry, she said. The fluorescent hissed above them. Dust rose and gathered in a seated shape across the room, as if a woman had taken a chair from air. Eliza's skin prickled. Her grandmother's voice came back. Wells call you by your first hurt. Do not answer. Don't, Eliza said to nothing she could point to. Jace turned his head. Don't what? Nothing, she said, too quick. Kincaid's eyes slid to the ledger, then to Eliza's hand. Ma'am, he said, calm as a rule book. Step back from the filing table. I'm at my job, she said. Jobs end at posted hours, he said. Truth doesn't, Jace said. Wit's smile did not shift. Truth shows up on time and wears a jacket. Truth bleeds and keeps walking, Jace answered. Eliza felt the past pull up like a rope from a well. Napkins, with fences and pencil. Her mother's. Brief prayer over bills. Her grandmother's hands tight on a bucket handle. She tasted iron. She pressed the toe of her shoe into the scuff she made last spring. Wit touched the deed's corner with a finger like a quiet hook. This little memory is a toy. Let it go. It's a boundary, Jace said. There will be no boundaries drawn in this room tonight, Kincaid said. You hear yourselves, Eliza said. You talk about rules like they are innocent. They keep order, Kincaid said. They keep doors shut, she said. The ledger moved another inch, polite as a dog that knew better. The lights flickered, darkened, and returned. In the blink, the seated dust leaned closer. Cold slid along Eliza's cheek. When the light steadied, the shape held its pose, then fell apart. Kincaid kept his voice smooth. Everyone should go home now. No, Jace said. Yes, Wit said. Stop, Eliza said. The word rang. She looked at Jace. Why tonight? Because the ground opened this morning, he said. A man I owed left me the key I failed to make. He left me the ridge. He left me the brand. Whose man? Kincaid asked. Not yours, Jace said. Wit laughed once. Everyone here belongs to someone. No, Eliza said before she could swallow it. The ring squeezed her finger. Paper belongs to the people who sign it, and to the ones who bleed under it. That is all. Wit studied her. Don't let old habits pull you off the road. I mark the road, she said. You drive it. Kincaid nodded at the tag. Brand marks bring fights. Fights bring truth, Jace said. Enough, Eliza said. She reached toward the deed. Her hand paused in the same hover, as if the page could bite and bless at once. If this is filed, it will be seen. If seen, it will be heard. If heard, things will move that have not moved. Wit's mouth made a fine line. You would hurt good people for the joy of noise. I would hurt lies for the sake of air, she said. The fluorescent steadied. A drawer slid shut. The ledger's ribbon crept to a new page and stopped. Kincaid did not flinch. Ma'am, he said, step away. Eliza didn't. She looked at Jace and saw the years sanded into him, and the one part time had not rubbed smooth. He lifted the deed an inch. She lifted her eyes. The two lifts met in the strip of light across the paper, and for a breath looked like paper that burns without fire. The deed in their eyes hung in courthouse light. Then the truck door slammed, and the night took the echo. Jace drove the rattling pickup. Eliza rode shotgun and hated how her body still fit the seat. Silence filled the cab and talked in its own way. The road out of town rose and fell. Porches went dark behind them. Gravel hissed. I don't owe you, Eliza said. You owe yourself a look, Jace said. The headlamps caught a sign pocked by bullets, a tin cross where a girl once died, plastic flowers bright for a blink. They rolled past the stretch folks, called the well-roomer spot, where wind went down and climbed back wrong. The cattle guard rattled and scraped her teeth. You fixed the well, she said. It fixed me, he said. She laughed once and made it mean. Wells don't fix, they swallow. Maybe I needed swallowing. Don't talk like that, you asked. He shifted, and the truck answered with a rattle. The fence rose to meet them, wires tight, posts leaning like tired backs. She felt watched, not by him and not by deer, but by land that remembered names. The wishbone gate stood ahead, paint flaked to iron. A sheriff's orange seal hung from the middle bar. Notice of encumbrance and type that wanted to be lulled by itself. They're already choking you, Eliza said. I chew back, Jace said. He braked and killed the engine. Night folded in. He stepped out. Dust knew his boots. Eliza followed against her rules and felt them snap. He pulled fencing pliers from the door pocket. The orange circle glowed under moon. He cut it free. He slid the torn seal into his pocket. You still name the stars? He asked, without looking at her. I grew up, she said. Growing up isn't the same as going blind. Open it. He set his shoulder. Chain slid, then gave. Metal groaned, open like a throat, trying words. Hinges complained, and then agreed. Wind came through, and the wires hummed. The sound folded into whispers that were not wind. Set the table right. Eliza stiffened. Her grandmother had said those words at the sink when money ran thin. She had said them at a grave. You hear that? Jace asked. You don't want my answer, she said. I do. It was nothing, she said. Just wire talk. Nothing carries weight out here. They stood as if the land had the next line. Beyond the gate, the two-track ran into a darker patch where the cottonwoods would be, where the creek dry spoke in summer and the well-mouth waited. She told herself she would not look. She would gather what her eyes needed and leave. The Carrow seal will breed more by morning, she said. Let them breed, he said. I'll hang them in the bunkhouse and count them like fish. You think you can win that way. I think I can breathe that way. You always thought breath was victory. Breath is a start. He swung the gate wider and waved her through. She would not be guided. She walked first, and her boot knocked a rock that knew her foot. The feeling made her angry at herself and at the night for keeping score. He clipped the chain and climbed in. She slid into the seat and slammed the door. You're shaking, he said. I'm cold, she said. It's warm, I'm cold. He let it go. The truck nosed through the opening and onto the two-track. Grass brushed the undercarriage. The beams found spiders and small moths. Eliza kept her eyes forward and told herself she was only doing a survey, the kind any clerk could write without feeling. "Why bring me?" she asked. "Because the road remembers us," he said. "It will tell you I'm not lying. Roads don't talk. They do if you've walked them enough. Then let it talk to you." It already did. What did it say? That you left, and the ground kept your print. It said, "Come back with proof." Proof of what? That I made good on what I said. People change. Land changes more. The fence hummed again, and the whisper braided into it. "Set the table right." She swallowed and pressed her palms on her knees to stop the tremor. "Don't look at the well," she told herself. "What?" he said. "Drive," she said. He drove. The truck passed a hinge post. The camera in her mind stayed with the gate as it swung wider by its own weight and then, patient as an old debt, began to close. It kept moving after the lights had gone. When it touched the latch, the sound was small and sure. The road ahead remembered their boots and received them, without thanks. The gate clanked shut behind them, and the ranch house door yawned open. Jace pushed the switch. Nothing. Moonlight slipped through torn curtains and showed the kitchen paused mid-breath. Eliza saw it at once. A single plate set at the head, the rim a clean circle cut out of dust, a glass to the right, a spoon laid. Perfect. The chair behind it angled an inch from the table, as if knees had just stood. "You staged this," she said. "Wish I was that creative," Jace said. "You want me scared. I want you honest. I am." She ran a finger on the stove and lifted gray powder. "Someone was here today, or the house remembered yesterday," he said. He lifted the deed halfway from his jacket and let it drop. "You asked how I got it. I'm asking now. It started at a tax auction," he said. "Back taxes like a wire snarl. A silent partner held the lien and wanted quick over. Proud. I had half. The bank's smile said no." "How did you make the rest?" she said. "A letter waited in my box," he said. "No name, cash in the exact amount I lacked, and a photograph." "What photograph?" He crossed to the wall where frames leaned. He wiped one. Eliza saw her younger face at the county fair, eyes on a prize steer. Beside her stood her grandmother with a hand on a ribbon. Jace turned the frame and showed an envelope tucked beneath the backing. "It came with that," he said. "You're playing I'm not. Who sent it? You'll think I'm drunk." "The well," he said. She laughed once. "Don't." "I'm telling you what happened," he said. "I went out the night before the auction. I leaned over, like a fool. My boot slid. I went in. Cold took my lungs. I clawed at stone and thought this is the end I earned. Then something pushed my back, a hand, small and strong. It lifted me to a rung I could not reach. When I got home, the envelope was there." "She had small hands," Eliza whispered. The chair across from them pulled back by an inch, slow enough to deny later. Eliza stared at Jace. "Don't play with me. I'm not touching it." "Then the house is, maybe it is. You think this is welcome? I think it's warning." She tried to lock her chest. "Why bring me here?" "Because she doesn't scare you," he said. "And because she never liked me alone." "Don't say she. You said she." Eliza breathed dust and mint. "Tell me again about the partner." "He never showed his face," Jace said. "Paper came through a lawyer in a black car. The trust name is a shell, but the cash counted clean. The deed straight. The judge's hand couldn't stop. Whit knew," she said. "He always knows what he wants to know." "You think he set the encumbrance to push you back?" "I think Kincaid held the door while Whit hung the seal." "Grandma said, this house waited for the right footsteps," Eliza said. "What about wrong ones? They fall through." "They stood long enough to hear mice work in the walls." Eliza's ring chilled. "You can still leave," Jace said. "Call it a trick and go." "I've left before," she said. "Like what?" "Like a bruise you learned to sit on. Stay to see if the house wants you. Houses don't want. People do. Then I do." She looked at the plate. This has to be Dust Games. Dust doesn't set a table. Someone did. Maybe someone you loved. Don't say her name. I can't. He lowered himself into the pulled-back chair. He folded his hands. Eliza stayed standing. The old clock showed a time that never was. Tell me the route again, she said. Tax sale, he said. Silent partner sells cheap. Cash appears. Judge signs. Sheriff stamps. Caro breathes on the paper. I drive it here. And the well. It fixes men who think they're done. Wells don't fix, she said. They swallow. Maybe I needed swallowing. Don't talk like that. They looked at the photograph. The girl stood tall beside the steer. The old woman's hand on the ribbon looked like a push. You liked that steer, Jace said. I liked the work, she said. I liked being seen without paying for it. Then let this be seen. By who? By the ones who eat off this plate and think no one notices. They notice. Everything, she said. Not the right things. A spoon rattled in an empty cup by the plate. The handle tapped twice and kept tapping. Both of them looked down. The spoon stilled. The cup settled by itself. The house held its breath and let it go across the floor. The spoon's last tap became the tap of a knife on the cutting board. Eliza rolled her sleeves and let the sink run thin. Beans soaked in a dented pot. Cornmeal waited. The house listened like a dog under the table. She moved away. She used. 2. Quick and sure. Jace leaned in the doorway and watched. Didn't know you still, he said. I don't cook. I calm, she said. The burner caught on the third try. She set the skillet, poured oil, and breathed steady until the heat spoke. You're feeding me like it's old times, Jace said. I'm feeding the room, she said. Rooms get mean when they're hungry. So do men, he said. Then sit, she said. He didn't sit. He spread papers on the table like a cheap hand. Here's the field, he said. Caro Trust ringed Wishbone with water rights. They own bends upstream and the pipe under the public road. Kincaid enforces liens with selective sight. If I move a fence, I get a notice. If I breathe wrong, I get a knock. You'll lose, she said. I've lost already, he said. Makes me dangerous. She stirred beans, added onion, shook salt by memory. Batter took shape in the bowl. She poured it, smoothed it, and slid the skillet into heat. A cold draft crossed the floor and brought a honeysuckle smell from a porch that wasn't there. The hairs on her arm rose. Set 2 plates. A voice breathed from nowhere she could name. She set 2 plates. Jace watched and did not comment. She wiped a rim she had already cleaned. Be my witness, Jace said. Water hearing next week. Clerk knowledge matters. Wit will bury me, she said. He already did, he said. He buried the part that asked permission, she said. This part signs its own name. The ribbon on the nail by the photo trembled. In the frame, she was a teen beside a prize steer, her grandmother's hand on a ribbon like a small, steady push. Eliza buttered the cornbread and broke off a corner for the second plate. Are we alone? Jace asked. Eat, she said. She ladled beans, slid bread, and kept her eyes on the work. He sat and took a bite. It's right, he said. It's food, she said. Food tells the truth, he said. Not by itself, she said. He tapped the papers. The ranch is a board. Caro plays queens. Kincaid keeps time. I'm a pawn that learned knives. You learned stubborn, she said. Same blade, he said. You think you can cut water? She said. I can cut lies about it, he said. That pipe under County Road is public crossing. Filings call it private. The ledger dates don't match. You saw the ink slant. You saw it breathe. Paper doesn't breathe, she said. People do. Then breathe with me in that room, he said. Say what you know. My boss will cut me, she said. He sharpens blades on you already, Jace said. She ate and found her mouth thick with the past. Say why you want me, she said. Because when you say no, men hear yes too. Themselves, he said. When you say yes, they hear a threat they can't sand down. I need that. She looked at the second plate. Steam bent like a head. This is foolish, she said. It's a start, he said. Starts get people killed, she said. So does staying buried, he said. Honeysuckle threaded the air again. Her ring went cold. Don't meddle, she whispered at the empty chair. Jace pretended not to hear. Today I counted 7 orange seals, he said. They breed like rats. Don't give them names, she said. I name what I fight, he said. Give me yours, she said. You know it, he said. Not Jace, she said. The one you use when you think you're done. He smiled without joy. Lost, he said. Headlights swept the wall and laid a bad shape across the cupboards. An engine idled outside, patient. Boots climbed the steps. Kincaid's voice came through the wood like posted hours. House inspection. Eliza stood with a dish towel like a white flag she would not raise. You invited him, she said. I didn't, Jace said. He follows seals. She said he follows me, Jace said. She squared her shoulders and felt the house steady behind her. The deputy's radio cracked once in the yard, then fell quiet, like a cough swallowed. Jace rose, but she shook her head, and he sat. The towel hung from her hand, not a surrender, just cotton and work. Headlights washed the floor and pulled back. She set her face like a ledger line that would not move, and reached for the latch. She opened the door. The door opened, and Kincaid stepped in without asking. Eliza kept the dish towel in her hand like a flag she refused to wave. He looked at the plates, the pan, the papers. He sat, removed his hat, and placed it crowned down like a challenge. The badge on his chest held a dull shine. Jace stayed seated. The room held still and listened hard. This ranch owes the county respect, Kincaid said. I'll pay in cash, not kneeling, Jace said. Kincaid drew the ledger from nowhere Eliza could name. It simply was there. He opened it. Pages turned with soft breath until a line met his finger. Vale. Eliza's maiden name sat beside a historic claim on the creek bend. Ink sure and old. That can't be right, Eliza said. Clerks misfile all the time, Kincaid said. Names drift. Papers get tired, or men move them, Jace said. You picking on her or protecting wit? I protect order, Kincaid said. Elisa read the hand. It looked like a copy made clean, then aged on purpose. If the claim stood, Caro's net lost a knot. If it stained her, her mouth would not count. She felt the aim of it and saw Jace catch it too. You came to dirty her before she speaks, Jace said. You brought the book to say she's not clean. The chair across from Kincaid scraped an inch and went quiet. He blinked and swallowed it. Your house is noisy, he said. It's honest, Eliza said. He slid the ledger so it almost touched her plate. Maiden name Vale. That makes you stakeholder, ma'am. You failed to mention a conflict. I met that line tonight, she said. Same minute you did. You met the book earlier, he said. You handled it. As a clerk, she said, not as a ghost. Ghosts do a lot of work in this county, he said. He rested his hand on the cover. County expects respect. So does the trust. The trust can wait its turn, Jace said. Kincaid tipped his head. You want a quiet night or a quick arrest? You want me quiet? Jace said. I want you lawful, Kincaid said. You cut a seal. I cut a rope off my gate, Jace said. Eliza made her voice steady. What charge do you intend here, Sheriff? Notice of encumbrance violation, Kincaid said. Trespass if needed. Lean on me, Jace said. Leave her out of your paper tricks. Paper is where we live, Kincaid said. Learn to read it. I can read, Jace said. I can speak to. I'll do both. He rose without heat. Public hearing, tomorrow, Jace said. Town hall, I'll bring the deed, the claim, the brand. I'll say names where children can hear them. I'll hold this ledger on the steps if I must. You can watch daylight on the lines. Kincaid's eyes narrowed. Careful what you make public. Everything, Jace said. Everything makes mess, Kincaid said. People don't forgive mess. They forgive lies even less, Jace said. Eliza felt the walls lean toward them. Her ring chilled. If the claim is real, it stands. If not, it falls, she said. That's the law. The law needs clean hands, Kincaid said. You want me dirty, so I go quiet, she said. You think tying my name to ink makes me small. You make yourself small by sitting with this man, Kincaid said. I'm here, she said. That's all. He stood. The hat waited between them, crown down like a bet not taken. He turned it over slow. Honeysuckle lifted in the room. Eliza saw a pale strand stuck to the felt brim. Kincaid didn't. Jace watched Eliza see it and kept still. Sleep while you can, Kincaid said. Morning cuts sharper than night. Bring a chair, Jace said. Bring your book. Kincaid tipped the hat at Eliza. It felt less like courtesy than weight. Stay out of it, he said. She can't, Jace said. She must, Kincaid said. Eliza folded the towel and set it flat. I'll be where the record is, she said. Kincaid walked to the door and checked the frame like a man who expects wood to lie. The engine idled outside. A deputy coughed into his radio. Kincaid set the hat on his head with the honeysuckle still clinging. The night took him. The house let its breath go. Jace reached and shut the ledger with 2 fingers as if it could bite. He'll come hard, Eliza said. So will we, Jace said. Public fight, she said. It's the only kind I can afford, he said. Outside tires rolled off the gravel. Inside, the scraped chair inched back toward the table, polite as a guest who puts things where he found them. Eliza watched it settle and felt the room choose a side. Kincaid's truck taillights faded and the house let out its breath. Gray morning lifted over the well-stones. Eliza walked with Jace to the circle of rock that held more stories than water. The rope lay coiled. Jace tested the rim with his boot and looked down. Time to hear it, he said. What if it lies? She said. Then we catch it lying. He tied the rope to the bucket and eased it over the edge. Stone rasped. The bucket fell. Echo answered and kept answering. Too long for a dry mouth. That is not right, Jace said. Nothing is, she said. He pulled the rope, came back with drag that felt wrong. Eliza braced and helped, shoulder to shoulder like the days they strung fence. The bucket rose heavier than water. It bumped the lip and slopped nothing. Inside sat a tight oilskin packet. Who puts mail in a hole? Jace said. People who cannot trust rooms, she said. He set the bucket on the stones. She lifted the packet. Twine lay flat from years. The knot fell open. She peeled back the skin and found a folded page. On the front, in block letters, was written E.V. Eliza Vale. Jace said. It could be any E.V., she said, though her mouth went dry. She unfolded the page. The writing made no effort at beauty. She read aloud because morning asked for witness. Set the table, make the cut. Claim what is yours. Gee. Jace studied it a long breath. Your grandmother, he said. She never learned letters, Eliza said. Still, that is her voice. You sure, he said. I am sure of little, she said. Of that, yes. The water shivered without wind. A tight ring touched the stones and vanished. Eliza felt the hair on her neck rise. Bring the ribbon, a voice said. It came from down and up at once, clear. Jace looked at her and did not pretend. You heard that, he said. Yes. Your grandmother again, or my head, she said. She held the oilskin to her chest. Jace watched in silence. This is where I say the thing I should have said sooner, she said. He waited. I picked wit, she said. He picked my life. He bought it, Jace said. He leased it. Month to month, she said. He carried the payment book, and I carried the smile. You could have left, Jace said. I did, she said. Every day. I left a little more. I lived as a soft hostage. I know that kind, he said. It thanks the hand that loosens the rope and tightens it again. She nodded. I told myself safety was love. I told myself maps meant home. Then the bed went cold, and I kept lying. You are here, he said. I am here, she said, because the road remembered me. Because I am tired of being quiet around men who like quiet. If this letter is a trick, it is a good one, he said. It is not a trick, she said. She would say those words. You believe a well, he said. I believe work, she said. And signs, when they arrive in the hands that pushed me up. Bring the ribbon, he said. We should do what we are told. We should do what is right, she said. Sometimes the same. She folded the page and slid it back into the skin. She tucked it under her shirt. The rope scraped. Again as Jace lowered the bucket for a clean draw, when it reached what should have been water, the sound changed, as if the well had learned metal speech. You almost died here, she said. I did, he said. Something small and strong pushed me. She had small hands, Eliza said. They stood with the rope wound around his wrist, and her fingers matched to his. The well answered morning, with small knocks. She thought of the ribbon in the kitchen, the plate that waited, the chair that moved an inch, the ledger that crawled toward the truth. We take the ribbon to town, Jace said. We take the deed, she said. The claim, the brand, the truth we can prove. And the voice, he said. The voice gets its own seat in back, she said. They lifted the bucket. It came up empty of water, heavy with some pull she could not name. Bring the ribbon, the voice said again, clearer. Now, Elisa looked into the well and did not see her face. She saw two hands, she knew, and a ribbon with a blue edge. She pressed the oilskin to her chest. The camera of her mind dropped with the bucket into the black, and the circle above shrank to a coin that held their names. Black water became black. Microphone foam. The hearing room smelled like paper and polish. Eliza stood at the mic and told her hands to be still. They trembled and listened. Jace sat one row back with the deed and the brand tag. Whit entered in a pressed suit, and that clean smile. Kincaid took a wall seat where he could see doors and clocks. Whit began before he was called. Water is not romance, he said. It is a scarce asset. Neither is theft, Jace said. The clerk rattled rules. The courtroom door stayed unlatched and eased a little, though no one entered. Dust turned in a shaft like it had made tickets. State your name for the record, the clerk said. Eliza Vale, she said. Clerk, your role here. I bring a filing, she said, and a line older than these chairs. Irregular, Whit said. So is thirst, Eliza said. She set an oilskin on the table, drew out a widow's allotment claim, and slid it under the lamp. Filed before Caro fences. Recorded wrong, then moved, then forgotten. This is irregular, the clerk said. So is thirst, she said again. Lower Jace. Slid the deed beside it. The brand tag clicked on wood. A broken V taught to stay shut. The lights hummed. The chair behind her gave as if someone sat to rest bones. Whit spoke to the walls and the voters he believed he owned. The trust recognizes loss, he said, but pity does not irrigate. The ranch's new owner cut a lawful seal. He made himself an example. I cut a rope off my gate, Jace said. Kincaid folded his hands. Proceed through documents. Eliza handed the claim to the clerk. Pages flipped. She felt the wind of it, though the room was sealed. The ledger appeared as if it had walked. The clerk opened to a fresh margin. Totals had slid. Sums moved at 2 a.m., the stamp bright as warning. You forged, Jace said. Whit didn't blink. You accused money of liquidity. Eliza leaned to the mic. The widow's allotment predates those sums. she said. By law the creek bend cannot be fully alienated. The pipe under County Road is public crossing. Entries that suggest otherwise were made after midnight by a hand that favors slant. Speculation, Witt said. Observation, she said. Look at pressure marks. Look at clerk code. The login points to the sheriff's office. Kincaid didn't turn his head. Watch your claims. I am, Eliza said. So should you. Lights flickered. A chair rocked in the back by itself. A honeysuckle breath moved through a sealed room and lifted one edge of the claim. Eliza put her palm down. Sit with me, she said, not into the mic. Who? Jace said. She knows, Elisa said. Witt laughed. We admit ghosts now. We admit records, Elisa said. Some of them breathe. The clerk coughed. Order, he said. The board will review the submission. A continuance may be prudent. Prudent for who? Jace said. For order, Kincaid said. Order that keeps one name wet and one dry, Eliza said. Weigh your tone, Kincaid said. I have, she said. It is the tone of a clerk tired of being used to keep men comfortable. A woman in the second row nodded once. The unlatched door eased more. Eliza felt someone in the gap, small and stubborn, the way a hand fixes your collar so you do not miss the bus. Her throat burned and calmed, which shifted to manners he used for anger. We will seek sanction, he said. Sanction me and make noise, Jace said. We like noise. We brought a brand that speaks. Symbols are for fairs, Witt said. Truth loves a crowd, Eliza said. The clerk looked to Kincaid. Kincaid looked to the clock. The room looked at Eliza. She set the ribbon from the house on the table, the fair ribbon, blue gone pale. The breeze found it and fled. The chair behind her steadied. We continue tomorrow, Kincaid said at last. The ranch stays under watch. No one lifts gates, cuts chains, moves fences, or reads from steps. You can't stop steps, Jace said. Kincaid ignored him. Written statements by noon, he said. Eliza didn't let go of the mic. I will speak, she said, on record. Careful what you make public, Kincaid said. Everything, Jace said behind her. She turned from the mic but kept her hand on it, as if a second small hand still held hers. For a breath the foam kept a shape not her own, a faint print over her fingers. She heard it close to her ear and far down the hall. Set the table. Make the cut. Claim what is yours. Eliza nodded, and the unlatched door let the room breathe. Eliza's hand left the mic and closed on a bucket handle. Night met them at Wishbone. Along the east fence, flames licked low, testing wire and weeds. Jace ran to the pump by the trough. Eliza ran with him, breath sharp. The hose coughed and caught. Water thudded dirt, backburn or threat. Jace said. With them both, she said. They pushed along the fence. Fire rose to their ankles and fell. A truck idled on the road, lights off. Another glow winked behind cottonwoods and died. Laughter carried, then cut. Keep the line, Jace said. I am, she said. Gravel popped. A rider came from the dark. She slid off an old paint and landed light. Saw the glow, the girl said. Brought teeth. Mira, Jace said. You shouldn't be here. I work downrange, she said. The creek runs the same for me as you. You know this line, Eliza said. I know men who like lines to move at night, Mira said. She cracked a valve on a small pump tied to her saddle. Fire hissed. They beat with wet sacks, with shovels, with hands when tools slipped. Eliza kept her eyes on the orange and the black beyond it. I left you because I was scared of smallness, Eliza said as they worked. I stayed small and learned how to fit knives in it, he said. That is not a life. It kept me breathing. I wanted more than breath, she said. So did I, he said. He doused a post and watched its red tooth cool. Mira moved past them. Leave the tall grass wet behind you, she called. Don't feed what you starve. You talk like a foreman, Jace said. I listen like a field, she said. The truck backed off. In the tailgate's shine, a Caro brand glinted, a broken V that thought it was whole. They want the headline, Elisa said. Ranch burns, owner cries, clerk retreats. We don't cry on camera, Jace said. I cry when it helps, Eliza said. Not for them. They turned the corner where the fence bent toward the creek bed. Sparks jumped and failed. Fire broke into puddles of red, and then ash. Breathe, Myra said. Count to 10. I'm fine, Eliza said. You're lying, Myra said. Breathe anyway. Eliza breathed. The hose went slack, then firm. She felt the pull from the trough. She set her boot on chain and aimed low where cheatgrass kept trying. Flame gave a last lick at the east gate post. Jace slammed his bucket there and watched it go black. The world answered with a hush. That was not wind. Cut true, a voice said. Eliza straightened. You hear that? She said. Mira paused. I did, she said. Jace looked at both. It said what? Cut true, Eliza said. We cut fence or lie, Jace said. We cut lies, Eliza said. We keep fence. They walked. The line again for hot spots. Metal cooled. Grass quit whispering. Coyotes took a corner of dark with 3 short calls, and a longer one like a count. Someone's watching, Mira said. Let them see we stand up, Jace said. They saw. The bucket, Eliza said. They saw the woman who would not step off the claim. Myra glanced at her. People will try to make you story and not person, she said. Keep your own name in your mouth. I will, Eliza said. They reached the worst patch by the road. Ash lay in light ridges. Eliza knelt and set her palm to learn heat. Black smeared her skin. Something blue tugged her eye. She brushed ash and found a ribbon half burned. County Fair blue, tired but still speaking. They used it to start the show, Jace said. Or to call me out, Eliza said. Both, Mira said. Folks like that want you to read their notes. Eliza lifted the ribbon and ash fell in a small rain. The pinback was warped. An edge showed a bite where flame took what it could and left the rest for her to carry. What does it say? Jace asked. Nothing, Eliza said. Everything. She slid it into her pocket beside the oilskin. I know what to do with this. Make it public, Jace said. Make it true, she said. They stood at the fence and watched the last smoke thin. The road kept the smell of hot rubber and a lie pulling away. Myra's lamp swung once, marking faces that stayed hidden nearby. You'll have company before sun, Myra said. Be loud. We will, Eliza said. Mira vanished. Jace and Eliza stayed, buckets at their feet. The fence did not move. The night did not blink. In the hush, secrets cracked like dry posts, and the sound pleased no one, which felt like a start. Eliza lifted the blue ribbon, and then the branding iron from the coals. The calf was caught, rope taut to the cedar post, breath kicking dust. Jace steadied the flank while Mira held the line. You sure? Jace said. I'm done being sure of nothing, Eliza said. She stepped in and set the iron. Sizzle rose. The calf bawled. She did not cry. Mira checked the hide. Mark's clean, she said. You hold harder than most men. I hold because it matters, Eliza said. Jace looked at her as if a gate in him had opened one hinge. First under wishbone the way it should be, he said. They will try to steal even this, she said. They already try, Mira said. A county truck eased along the road and turned into the yard. Deputies in sunglasses rode the bed. Kincaid stepped down with a folder and the habit of owning rooms. He came to the fence and rested his hand on the top rail. Hands off county property, Kincaid said. There's a warrant on the herd for liens. Hands on what is mine. By widow's allotment line, Eliza said. She kept the iron in her grip while its heat fell too dark. Kincaid opened the folder and laid a seizure order where the brand smoke thinned. "Sign you received," he said. "No," Eliza said. "We don't sign a theft. Law asks you acknowledge," he said. "Law asks you read," she said. She gave the iron to Jace and drew the oilskin from inside her shirt. She opened it slow. "Letter to EV," she said. "Set the table, make the cut. Claim what is yours, G." She placed it beside the warrant and set a ribbon-sealed packet Mira had found in the bunkhouse next to both. Maps unfolded. Blue lines marked ditches that left county right-of-way, crossed a private fence, and watered Caro grass. "We play open now," Jace said. Kincaid did not touch the maps. "You make mess with paper," he said. "Paper is how you hurt people quiet," Eliza said. "We're done being quiet." The ground trembled faint, a shrug under boots. The trough ringed itself without wind. From the house came one small knock. The well pulsed like a heart under floorboards. Everyone felt it. Kincaid's eyes narrowed. "You're stirring old bones," he said. "Quiet." "They asked for air," Eliza said. Mira pinned the blue ribbon to the top rail. "If you need proof who fed this ground, start here," she said. Kincaid stared at the ribbon and then at Eliza. He looked like a man counting doors. "Escort will hold your gate," he said. "Any animal moves, it comes with me." "You won't touch this calf," Eliza said. Jace stood with the brand tag in his palm like a coin with edges. "We brought the deed and a claim," he said. "You brought noise," Kincaid said. "Noise makes truth hearable," Eliza said. A deputy raised a camera and took 3 pictures that sounded careful. Dust floated in each click, like witnesses. Kincaid closed his folder but left it on the rail. "I won't seize today," he said. "I'll file amended scope. You will appear on notice. If you run, I will take everything that breathes." "We're not running," Eliza said. "We're standing." "Keep fire off your fence," Kincaid said. "Keep your men off my fence," she said. He put on his hat. The deputies climbed in. The truck rolled out, tires speaking small apologies to gravel. Silence gathered now. The calf shivered and steadied. Eliza touched the hide where the broken V sat new and honest. Heat breathed out of it and into her hand. Jace exhaled like a wire cut clean. "Power shifted," Myra said. "A notch," Jace said. "Enough to count," Eliza said. She turned to Kincaid's folder, still on the rail. She slid the packet on top and tied both with the ribbon's tail. "Leave that," Mira said. "Let him feel weight when he comes back." "He always comes back," Eliza said. "So do we." The well thumped once more, stubborn as a rule. She could use. Kincaid's truck shrank on the road until dust was all that stood for him. Eliza faced the calf. "Name," Mira said. "Ledger," Jace said. "Brand over book." Eliza smiled once, small and true. "Ledger," she said. The calf shook and then leaned into her hip like a child asking for place. "She'll let it." She kept her hand steady and felt the mark cool under her palm. The morning held still, as if listening to the name take root. In the quiet, she heard her grandmother playing, "Set the table, make the cut, claim what is yours." She nodded, to the voice and to herself, and did not step back. It was fully theirs. Calf heat still on her palm became townspeople, pressing close. Morning stood blunt. A folding table shook under maps and copies. Eliza braced it with her hip. Jace moved beside her. Mira pinned the blue ribbon to the top map. The brand tag lay where all could see it. Eliza raised her voice. "We're reading names," she said. "Water that left you, water that was yours. We're not quiet now. Noise is too," Mira said. Eliza touched the list. "Ruth Harlow, here," a woman called. "Betty Crow, here. June Royce, here." She kept going. Each name reached out, and someone answered. The sound stacked until the yard took a shape. Cass Pruitt, here. Nora Dean, here. Maisie Luke, here. Eliza nailed a copy of the ditch map to the barn. Arrows ran at bends and roads. Sums sat beside dates stamped at 2 in the morning. Another copy went up. They moved pipe around a public crossing, she said. They called it private after midnight. A white truck rolled to the gate and stopped. Whit stepped down with a suit and a smile built for pictures. You'll get sued into bone meal, he said. I've been boned for years, Eliza, said. Kincaid drifted near without siren. Jace stood with his hands easy. Pick a side or drown, he told the sheriff. Kincaid wiped the hatband. Order needs a room, he said. This is a room, Eliza said. We opened the door. We brought the book to the sun. Whit walked to the maps. You are confused, he said. These are utility drawings. You hung them wrong. They show routes that leave County Road and water Carrow grass, Mira said. Whit laughed soft. You are brave. They count on hunger, Betty Crow said. Jace tapped the clock taped to a post. To a dot M, looks brave in ink, he said. It looks scared in daylight. The rocker on the porch creaked and rocked by itself. The well waited at the edge of sight. Set it right, a voice said, clear but not loud. This theater will pass, Whit said. When the notices arrive, you will fold. We fold laundry, Mira said. We do not fold lives. Eliza set her palm on the table. These maps are copies, she said. The originals meet the board. The letter and the claim go with them. We will speak on record. Whit slid a hand toward the nearest map. Jace stepped between. No, Jace said. Whit stopped, inches from paper, and his smile broke. You think this scares me? You wore a mask so long, your face forgot how to be yours, Eliza said. Kincaid took one step toward the well and stopped. Meetings are for the hall, he said. Hall comes later, Eliza said. Today is ledger. She raised her voice. Hannah Pike, here. Olive Crane, here. Maria Bowen, here. Names kept coming. Kids counted and got lost. A boy asked Jace what a brand means. It means you stood long enough to keep what you named, Jace said. Whit looked for a door that would open just for him. None did. He tried another tone. There will be costs, he said. Jobs, favors, warm houses. Some of us learned quilts, Nora Dean said. Some of us share, Cass Pruitt said. You share my patience, Whit said, and the line fell dead. Eliza nailed a final sheet. These arrows point at a bend older than your fences, she said. This allotment sits under my name and my grandmother's hands. We will not be quiet. The sheriff steadied himself on his truck and looked like a man in shallow water. Whit's jaw clicked. He lunged for the map. Jace did not move aside. No fists, just stillness that made Whit look small. Move, Whit said. No, Jace said. You'll regret this, Whit said. We regret the years already, Eliza said. Silence went through the yard like a rope pulled tight. A ranch wife began to clap once, then again, and the sound spread. It was counting. Whit tried to smile, and could not. He turned his head toward the stones. Eliza followed his stare and saw the well, black and patient. The voice stayed quiet. Everyone heard it anyway in the space between claps. Set it right, a child echoed. Kincaid let go of the truck. He looked at the maps and knew they would not come down clean. I will convene review, he said. Bring your papers. Bring your courage. We brought both, Eliza said. She'll read the last names. Dinah Holt. Here. Rose Lane. Here. Maribel Sykes. Here. The air changed as if a window had opened. Whit's eyes cut to the well. He feared it. The camera held his fear like a mirror, and everyone saw what he was without the smile. The water cooler bubbled in the hearing room and carried Whit's stare with it. Eliza stood at the table. oilskin under her jacket, ribbon in her pocket. Jace sat behind her, steady. Mira leaned by the door, arms crossed. The judge lifted his pen. Eliza placed a hollow Bible on the table. From its gut came ledger, pages yellowed and bent. Originals, she said, hidden in Caro Chapel. The clerk bent close. This is decisive. Kincaid's voice rasped. It is. Whit didn't move, but his jaw twitched. Estate. Water agent spread maps across the desk. Diversions confirmed. Unauthorized ditch cuts here, here, and here. Dates stamped to a M. Caro Holdings benefit. The sound in the room shifted, like boots in gravel. Sanctions gathered like thunder no one could stop. Whit tried to lace silk through his teeth. You ungrateful, I'm not yours to measure, Eliza said. You'll regret this. I regret years already. The clerk asked for final words. Jace stood. She wanted the ranch before she wanted me. The judge tilted his head. And now? Now, I want what she wants, Jace said. The judge wrote. Wishbone water rights restored under the Vale widow line. Caro trust fined. Sheriff oversight reviewed. A collective breath filled the room. Kincaid stared at his hands as though his badge weighed different now. On the courthouse steps, Whit tried one last trick. Come home, save your name. I'm going home, Eliza said. I'm saving its name. He reached for her sleeve. She pulled away. Crowds won't shield you. Work will, she said. She turned to Jace. I won't marry the ranch. I'll work it. If you stand with me, you stand as yourself. He smiled small. That I can do. They drove with windows down. At the gate, the chain sagged, and the hinge side open an inch. A nod. The porch chair stood still. Honeysuckle was only wind now. Eliza set the oilskin on the kitchen table. Thank you, she said. A voice faint but pleased. Eat. We will, she said. The house eased like a back laid flat. By afternoon, neighbors arrived with tools, pies, and folded maps of their own. Ranch wives, field hands, kids with dust on their cheeks filled the yard. Eliza and the women strung blue ribbons along the fence. Not trophies, Ruth Harlow said. Markers. Mira tied one high. Sky you can touch, she told a girl. Work you can see, Eliza said. Jace heated a small iron and pressed the wishbone mark into a post. Wood hissed and held. Promise. Not wound, he said. Eliza touched it. Stand. The well showed only sky. Evening cooled. Eliza opened a fresh ledger, set it on the table, and wrote, Wishbone Ridge owned by those who carry water. She underlined once. She drew a square. For a house. A circle. For the well. Not art. A map. A boy peeked over her arm. What does it mean? It means we keep what's ours, she said. The calf nosed Mira's knee. Jace brushed dust from his sleeve. We have company, he said. Women brought stew, bread, and jars. Children carried tin cups. Set the table, Eliza said, and laughter filled the kitchen. They ate. Stories stayed sharp. A widow spoke of dry years. A hand recalled pipes running the wrong way at night. They didn't say Whit. They didn't. Nita. His name lived in silence, heavier than mention. When the food thinned, Eliza set 2 plates, then a third. Not for a ghost, for whoever walked in hungry. Mira smiled at her. Jace nodded once. The chair by the wall stayed still. The ribbon didn't stir. The house no longer wanted. Eliza stepped outside. Fence posts shone with ribbons. The branded wood cooled. The trough mirrored stars. The yard held quiet. She breathed it. Tomorrow, the south line, Jace said behind her. Tomorrow we file receipts, she said. Then we ride the creek. Then we breathe. We are breathing, she said. He touched her hand and let it go. Both mattered. She closed the ledger, set it by the door. The well reflected only sky. The road out lay plain. Eliza felt weight shift into her bones, not shrinking, but settling. She wrote its name again in her head, and the ranch answered. She walked back in, left the table set, and heard the night rise slow around fences. The quiet stayed, and it belonged to them.